So I'm going to show you how to make fat bombs. They are easy to make dessert you can have when you're fasting and also if you're ketogenic. So you want to keep sugar down and you don't need to feel deprived because you're not having dessert. 1 or 2 a day of the fat bombs can help you fast longer and stay on track. So here are the ingredients I like to use, but you can choose any natural healthy fat you'd like. I use salted butter and organic coconut oil. I like tiny bit of peanut butter and more cashew butter. Again, if you don't like the taste of peanut butter, you can choose cashew alone. Or if you'd like, you can do almond butter. I don't personally like the taste of almond butter, so I don't use it. But you can choose any butter you want. Now, you can stay with those 4 ingredients if you'd like. But I like to add chocolate because I like chocolate. And also chocolate chips. Also sugar-free. Make sure it's like this one is made with stevia. The one sugar substitute I highly recommend is monk fruit. It's the best tasting natural sugar substitute I have found. For the other ingredients, you need a container that's microwave safe, and then this is how I like to do it. If you find another method for saving tiny bits of the fat bombs to put in the freezer, go ahead and do that. I also use these unbleached, chlorine-free mini baking cup papers. So I start out by putting half of the chocolate, that's 100% cacao, no sugar. Make sure you're always looking at the ingredients, that you're not adding sugar accidentally. That's what we're trying to avoid. And I start out by microwaving this a tiny bit until it's melted. Now that the chocolate is mostly melted, it took me about 2 minutes. Check your microwave. It may take less than that. I'm going to add the 2 tablespoons of butter and continue melting it. I'll do 20 seconds at a time because I don't want it to be boiling. It looks like it needs another 10 seconds or so. And that looks about ready to add the other ingredients. So I'm going to add the coconut oil next, about the same amount, 2 tablespoons. The coconut oil melts very fast, so you don't need to actually microwave it. Just stir it with the warm chocolate and butter and it'll start melting. Next, I add the cashew butter, and same thing. I don't think I'm going to need to microwave it. It'll start melting. I just keep stirring it, and then I will add maybe half as much the peanut butter. I like the cashew butter taste better than the peanut butter, so that's what I'm going to do. But you can, again, choose whatever works for you. And I think I've used about 4 tablespoons of the cashew butter. So again, it's approximate. You don't have to worry about exact ingredients. Do what works for you and do the butter of your choice. I added the peanut butter and I've been stirring it for like 30 seconds and it's all nicely melted. I use peanut butter that's chunky, that's got bits of peanuts in it. That's my preference, but you can have yours be buttery if you prefer. And again, you don't have to use any of the ingredients I'm using. For example, instead of the whole dark chocolate that's in a block, you can add 2 or 3 tablespoons of pure cacao powder, and that will be just as good. Next, I'm going to add the sugar. And in this case, it'll be the monk fruit, not real sugar. I added about 2 tablespoons, but you may want a sweeter dessert. Experiment with it. And if 2 tablespoons isn't sweet enough for you, you may want to do 3 tablespoons. What I like about monk fruit is it's 1-to-1 for sugar. So after I've stirred this enough times, like maybe 25-30, I will start pouring into these cups. And I fill it about 2/3 of the way. You can fill it more if you'd like. And I just do that until all the cups are filled. And if a little bit spills, you can wipe it off. After freezing these, I'm going to make another batch because I have half of the chocolate left. But before I freeze these, I'm going to add some chocolate chips. Again, this is optional, and if you do choose to use this, make sure it's sugar-free. So I'm going to put a few chocolate chips on top of each one. So this is what the final product looks like. Now it's ready to go in the freezer for at least an hour. So they're almost ready. I didn't wait a whole hour, probably more like 15 minutes. But the freezer is where I keep them. But I first put them in here in the Ziploc bag and then grab 1 or 2, either between meals or after a meal for dessert. So I think I said something about to have them while you're fasting. Make sure you're not breaking your fast with these. But for example, if your eating window is 12 to 6, let's say you have lunch at noon and dinner at 6, then between the two, you may feel hungry. Instead of snacking, you can grab one of these that'll keep you satisfied until dinner time. Enjoy and keep them in the freezer. They'll last forever.